Yo, what is going on, guys? There's Danger here, and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 6, as well as Crisis on Infinite Earths. And today's video is going to be on the rumors on how Zoom may possibly return, as well as teasers given by the actor playing Zoom, Teddy Sears. And I will be breaking all of this down on this video. We know Teddy Sears, the actor playing Zoom, had been posting many stuff related to The Flash, like him in a comic book store, and him buying this Flash comic book, as you can see from this picture over here on his Instagram. And in this shot over here, although those don't look like Flash comic books, he is wearing a Star Labs suit of the Flash, and also being one of my favorite episodes in the show in general. And the main question that everyone walked out from that episode is, what happened to Zoom after the Time Wraith took him? So let's just assume that Zoom that had been taken by the Time Remnant, taken by the Time Wraith, is a Time Remnant. So before Zoom takes Barry's speed and all that and goes to Earth 2, meanwhile Time Remnant Zoom is still in Star Labs somewhere, and he sees Barry and Nora, which then lead to the scene where Zoom takes off his mask and says, "Who is this? Another speedster?" And without a second thought, Zoom just chases after Nora, with Barry running slowly so Nora could go ahead and obviously protect his daughter. And then that leads to some race into time, and then the Time Wraith takes what we're assuming to be the Time Remnant Zoom. So my assumption is still that this is a Time Remnant, and the Time Wraith took the Time Remnant Zoom basically. And that version of Zoom, would not be Black Flash after the events of Season 2, and probably gets taken into the Speed Force or something. And due to the timeline changes recently, last season, Zoom manages to get out the Speed Force and gets faster than ever. Or the opposite could also happen. So the original Zoom lives the Season 2 events, but then the Time Remnant gets taken into the Speed Force and maybe gets lost in time. Another theory is that we know other speedsters other than Zoom himself also use V9, and that's obviously one recent speedster we've met, and that's Godspeed, who we last saw in the 18th episode of Season 5. And we know we will be getting a new version of Godspeed, as last season's Godspeed wasn't our favorite character. But yeah, we're getting a new version of Godspeed and will be appearing in the Season 6 premiere. So sometime, maybe before the events of Season 6 or after, this version of Godspeed may travel back in time to get help from Zoom on how to create V9 or how to make it work, things like that. But one problem I see with this theory is that Zoom would kill any speedster he sees on sight without a flinch, just like he tried to do with Nora. But we know that Thawne wouldn't be able to kill Thawne, due to him being a lot more powerful and a lot faster than him, meaning Zoom may probably work with Thawne, but that is also very unlikely. Adding up to my timeline change theory, Zoom gets released, however, as I said, gets lost in time and ends up in 2049, encounters Eobard Thawne. And Eobard Thawne notices that this speedster is a very dangerous speedster. So with some convincing, they plan for the crisis, well, then the Red Death. Although that's very unlikely, but as we do know that Red Death was also a serial killer due to the amounts of people he's murdered in, I think it was episode 12, where we know Cicada killed more people than him, but we know Red Death killed a lot of people as well. And just like Zoom in Earth 2, Hunter Zolomon, he'd been a serial killer as well. So they both have the same ambition, which is to kill. So yeah, what better ways to do than make Zoom Red Death? And yeah, this is very, very unlikely to happen, but yeah, it's just a theory, as I said. And lastly, going into your upcoming crossover Crisis on Infinite Earths, we would have various versions of characters. So what if Teddy Sears could return as Hunter Zolomon? however, from another version. For example, Earth One's Hunter Zolomon, since he was never properly explained, or other Earths possibly, going by the name Professor Zoom. Just like in the comics, that would be really, really cool. And going back to my Speed Force theory, Zoom's lightning would have turned red if he taps into the negative Speed Force, meaning he may get a new suit and possibly become Professor Zoom. Overall, the idea of Zoom returning would be very, very cool, as Zoom is one of my favorite villains